So, if you know me, if I go like this, what are you gonna do?
Awesome!
Awesome! You're gonna say awesome. So the Lions and the Leos of multiple District 317 are
Awesome!
Oh, this is great. I love it. Now we're gonna add to that. We're gonna make it more difficult. After we say awesome, I'm gonna say and you're gonna say
That's the fact, Jack!
that's a fact, Jack. That means that that's reality. That means that that's true. That means that that's undisputed. So the Lions of MD 317 and LCIF are
Awesome!
and that's a fact, Jack. Okay, we'll get that by the end of the day. So it is so great to be here. You can sit down if you want, or you can stand. I don't care. Okay? But it's great. Our motto is we serve. Not I serve, not you serve, but we all serve, don't we?
Yes.
Isn't that the best motto that there is? It's very simplistic. It's very to the point. And my motto last year was together we can. Because it takes an army. It takes a great amount of people to be able to do the great things that you are doing. I saw these goals here. You're doing a fantastic job. When it's coming to membership, when we're looking at our goals for LCIF. And our international president this year, Dr. Patty Hill, is saying we need to change the world. Think about that for a minute. Changing the world. There is no better way and no easier way to change the world than with LCIF. You take a look at the things that have happened right here in India, in multiple District 317. You take a look at how we have changed the world because of not my foundation, our foundation. This is your foundation. Lori and I spent all day at the Lions Eye Hospital. And that was started out with seed money and from a grant from LCIF. And look what it has done today. The Bangalore West has done a wonderful job in that hospital. And how many people have it helped? Yes, please. That's what our foundation does. With our foundation, we can change the world. But we got to start by looking at ourselves. We have to change. We cannot be this. We're not the same club from 106 years ago, are we? We're not the same organization. We're not the same organization from prior to the pandemic. And we're definitely not the same organization and the same clubs after the pandemic. We're not the same organization from a couple years ago. I have seen big changes that you have done here in multiple District 317. I have seen big changes in how you're doing and how you're collecting, and the pride you have for your foundation has done a wonderful job. So we got to change. Are you with me?
Yes.
We got to think differently. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. We have to change. This is, watch this, this is somebody, he wants his wife to change. Emma. You need to get into technology, he says. Emma. Change.
Emma?
We can change. It's not for everybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about toilet paper. I'm not talking about technology. I'm talking that we have to look at things and we have to do things differently. When you get done with a project, you need to take a step back and how can we change that project? How can we become better? And that's what we've done with our foundation. We've taken a look and we've seen what needs to be done in order to be able to gain more contributions so we can do more things. Everywhere Lori and I go, we were at the hospital today. Everywhere we go, they say, well, look what we've done with LCIF money. But they always follow it up with, we want to do this, and we want to do this, and we want to do this, and we want to build another hospital, we want to do different things. And that all takes money. But we can do that with our foundation, but we have to change. Think about it. Our foundation, the lines right here, you have goals that we've set, and you're doing a wonderful job in your goals and what we are doing. But we have to look at it differently. You take a look at the number of people that individually will give money to the foundation. It's 1%. It's less than 1% of people will give it individually. We have to change that a little bit. You only have about 16% of clubs that give to our foundation. And that's what I'm talking about with change. We have to be able to learn. And this is a culture change, not only here, it's in the United States and in a lot of parts of the world. OSEA, Southeast Asia, they give out of their personal pockets. And that's what we have to take a look at doing here and changing the culture that we're doing. Changing the different things that we're doing. So we asked, what is LCIF? You guys know what LCIF is, right? Lions Clubs, but there's a lot of members who do not. They do not know the difference between Lions Clubs International and Lions Clubs International Foundation. They use them interchangeably. Our foundation, your foundation, is the only foundation that we have that is not only local, that it helps out here in your communities and it makes your communities better, but it's also a foundation that helps out globally. And that's where we need help. And that's where we need to be able to do things. When there's disasters, and I know, as LCIF chair, you had a number of floods. You had a number of floods here in India, and I know, and you know, you had money in the district governor's hands the next day. Whenever there's disaster, whenever there's a war that breaks out, whenever anything happens, we're there. So LCIF is the only local foundation as well as global foundation, and you're a part of it. And you should be very proud to be a part of this organization, but you should be even more proud of what you are doing with your foundation and the different things that are going on with it. So we've given away 20,000 grants since 1968. 20,000 grants, that's a lot of grants. That's an absolute lot amount of money. And we've given away $1.2 billion. That's awesome. We've given away $1.2 billion, and that's awesome. And that's a bad jack. Okay, we'll get better. But that's a lot of money. It is. And it's a tremendous amount of thing that we do. But we have to continue to grow. The hardest thing I think I've ever done, and the trustees know this, the coolest thing about your foundation is when you give $1 or you give a rupee, that whole dollar goes to somebody in need. We don't have any overhead. When you give $1 to different organizations, feeding the kids or Red Cross or whatever it happens to be, they will take a percentage out. There may only be 20 cents or 30 cents on $1 that may go to people in need. When we give $1 goes out to help somebody. And not many people can say that. That's huge in what we can do. So we have to continue to grow and continue to do the great things we're doing. Last year, I was going to a point. I got sidetracked. The hardest thing that I think I have to do is when we get to the end of the year, when we get to our last trustee meeting, they say you have this much to spend because we can't overspend. Otherwise, we will not be able to get $1 and give $1. They say you have this much to spend when it comes to our last trustee meeting. And we have this much in grants. How do you tell somebody? How do you tell a club? How do you tell multiple district 317, you get a grant, you don't get one, you get a grant, you're going to have to wait, you get one. That's why we have to continue to grow our foundation. We had Campaign 100 that did a fabulous job. Over $325 million we have done. Campaign 100 stood for, we need to get to a point of making $100 million every year so we can fulfill all the grants that we get. And that's what our goal is. That's what we have to do at some point in time. Now last year, we gave away $40 million. We gave away in 1,400 grants. Take a look at the numbers of what that money did. We have done 9.7 million cataracts, and I was listening to the number of cataracts that you're doing right here in this community, in this town, is phenomenal. You've done 1 million cataracts yourselves right here. Can you imagine, if we didn't have that many cataracts, can you imagine what it's like that you could not see your children? You could not see your grandchildren? Look at the gift of sight that we have given to people. More than 20 million students worldwide have been subject to our Quest program. Being able to choose kindness, being able to know the difference between right and wrong, being able to have morals and values, and I know you're very strong here. We talked to a number of people over the last couple of days how important that Quest program is. $140 million. When there's a disaster, it goes out immediately. There was just an earthquake in Nepal just this last week. They had money immediately. We did a disaster grant for them of $50,000 just to start with. They had that available for them the next day. That's what your foundation does. That's the type of things, why we have to raise this money and why we have foundation and fundraising like this. 5 million people have benefited because of diabetes, education and training and research and what we're doing. Sight for Kids, we've screened over 50 million children that would not have an opportunity. You have to be able to catch that early. And the causes, 9.8% of the world we're living in is hunger. 800 million people go to bed at night hungry. Can you imagine going to bed at night hungry every night? That's what our foundation does. This pandemic we had, what do you think about that pandemic we had? That was terrible. But that pushed 75 to 95 million more people into poverty levels. The United Nations says because of that pandemic, 40% more people are in need of humanitarian service. Are you ready to serve 40% more people than we're doing now? That's where we have to be. That's why our foundation is so important. Natural disasters are going to increase by 40% by the end of this decade. You turn on the news and there's cyclones, there's hurricanes, there's tsunamis, there's volcanoes, there's earthquakes, there's war. That's going to increase by 40%. We can't step back. We can't stand around. We have to change like I talked about before. And that's why we're here. And that's why we have to keep our foundation so strong. You take a look what's happened here in Multiple District 317. Multiple District 317, just in the last 10 years, has received $3.3 million. That's fabulous because there's a need here and you need it. Yes, you guys have asked for that because you supply such a great service to your communities, and that's why we do it. You've had 76 grants awarded here. That's why we do it. So far this year, you've given $186,000, and I applaud you. Applaud yourselves. That's a big amount. That's a great amount to be able to do. And you've got 44% of your goal, but I hear the new number, and I wrote it on my hand here, is 59% of the goals you've done. But when we get there, if we get there tonight, we don't stop, do we?
No.
We keep going because we need it. And you take a look at last year. You did 427,000. Our goal this year is 316,000 that we have to be able to make. But again, I bring back the numbers. The numbers from last year, even what you're doing this year, less than 1% people give individually. And that's what we have to take a look at and being able to change. That's what we need to be able to change our cultures. And only 16% of our clubs give. That means the 16% that are giving money are giving good money. But we just need others to give. And I'm not saying you have to give a lot. If you can give, like they asked, $15 a member, that's a huge amount of money. And who can't afford as a Lion member $15? If we can change that culture, change that mindset, get the tradition that we take money out of our pocket, I don't care what it is. The point is, if we can talk about it and have every member being able to do that, that's where we're going to get to $100 million to be able to move forward. Now last year our goal was $50 million. After the campaign, we didn't know what we were going to do. But you know Douglas Alexander, what a great person. Past chairperson Douglas Alexander, he had a stretch goal of $55 million. We've made $68 million last year because of you. That's awesome. He made $68 million. Now my goal this year, which is set by our strategic plan, is only $52.5 million. I don't even want to talk about that. We've already got to $68 million. There's no reason why we can't do more, right? Now I'm taller than Doug. What do you think we could make this year? Now I'm talking globally. If we made $68 million last year, realistically, what do you think we could make this year? Anybody?
75.
I heard 100 million. Did somebody say 100 million? Okay, how about 105? 110? 100? We can. I know we can. I absolutely know we can. If I don't get more than $68 million, I'll never be able to talk to Douglas Alexander again. And he's a great friend of mine. He's a great friend, but I need your help. This organization needs your help. Again, I don't even care. The numbers you see, the percentages we talked about here with your goals, that's based on 52.5 million. You have to think, we need to be able to every district has to get to 133% if we're going to reach our stretch goal of 70. And actually my stretch goal is going to be 75 million in what we want to do. And in my wildest dreams, and I'm not even in Lori's wildest dreams, is $100 million. If we could get to $100 million, we would get a tattoo on our arm. No, maybe. But we have to. And that's why we need to do it with your help in order to be able to move forward. We have things that we want to be able to do. And what I love about this organization, we started with vision. We added hunger. We added environment, which, by the way, you do a wonderful job here at being able to help. I saw those pictures up here earlier. I love that. And we added diabetes. We added childhood cancer. We're involved in youth, humanitarian services, and disaster relief. If you can't find something that your club could do in order to raise money, do what you're passionate about. It could be mental health. It could be hearing. That's what I love about this organization. You do what you have a passion about. And that's what we need to be able to do. Lori and I last year, we had a very emotional year. We cried a lot last year. We did. When we go to places, we went to Turkey after the earthquake. This is a hospital. People were in that at the time of the earthquake. They have think about this. They have 100,000 buildings that have to be torn down. 100,000 buildings have to be torn down. If you would stack that 1 meter tall, that's 16,000 soccer fields. It doesn't happen overnight. There's a big investment that has to be done here, and it's going to happen for years and years and years. We just allocated $3.6 million so they could build community centers and things that they don't have now. Laura and I went to 10 cities. People have to live in these tents in these container cities for 3 to 5 years. Can you imagine living in a tent for 3 years? That's why we need our foundation. When Laura and I came there, we brought toys for the kids in these container cities. And they came running, and they had smiles on their faces. They don't even have a home. But they were happy because Leos and Lions were there helping them out. They were happy. They were happy because of you and what you've done. Then we went into Ukraine. And it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. We went to places and they had a glaze over their faces. They showed us pictures of their homes. And then they showed us pictures of their homes in Bakhmut and the places that were destroyed. It's devastating. All they want to do is go home. That's all they want to do. Can you imagine? That's why this foundation, being locally and globally, is so important. We went to hospitals. Soldiers were coming in there. We went all over the West Part, bringing supplies in of what they needed with the Lions, because the Lions know where things have to go. This soldier was just in there 3 months earlier. All he wanted to do was get healed up, give me some therapy, and I need to go back and protect our country. This is why. And you have things here. And don't forget about the orphans and the children. This is little Mary. Don't forget, that's why our foundation is so important. That's why we have so much passion. Lori and I, like I said, we've cried a lot in the last year. We went into Africa at the beginning of this year. We did a week service project, which we're going to do here in India this year. At the beginning part of the year, we're going to bring lions in from all over, and we're going to do a week's worth of service projects. We're going to give beat balls to blind schools. We're going to give handicapped equipment to people. We're going to do vision screening. When we went there in Africa, we did 43 projects in a week. I want to introduce you to somebody that I met on that last journey we had. This is Effie. This is why we need our foundation. And this is where your help goes. Your foundation has helped him out.
We had a moment in Africa. We're doing service projects and we're having a health fair, and one young man was pointed out to me. Effie was his name. He had a problem when he was born that his eye sockets were too small for his eyes, and somebody had actually thrown a rock at him.
Our specialist doctors are going to evaluate him and restore at least more than 70% of his eyesight.
He gave me the biggest hug that I will never ever forget. I can still feel it. He was just so grateful that somebody paid attention to him, blind, said that we need to do more than that. His smile, his face, his expression was something we'll never ever forget. We made a great day for Effie. Life-changing moments that we're all a part of. That's what this organization does. I'm never more proud to be a Lion because of moments like this.
That hug was not my hug. That hug is the best hug I ever received, and that's your hug. That's because of what you do. Effie was bullied. Kids threw rocks at him and hit him in the eye in 2018, and he didn't have anywhere to go to help him. We got there, he sat off in a corner, and we spotted him. And we said, come, we want to give you vision screening. We want to give you some health information. And he says, we can't afford it. This was in the slums of Nairobi. He says, we can't afford it. He said, no, this is free. And we found out, we brought past international director Manaj Shah, who owns a Heist hospital there that manages that. And we brought him into the hospital. They had to remove his eye, but they gave him a prosthetic one. They increased his eyesight from 40% to 70%. He would be blind otherwise. That's what your dollar does. Yes, absolutely. What else it does, his mom came to Lori and said, nobody has ever paid any attention to my boy before. Nobody has helped my boy out ever, except for the Lions. Except for the Lions and the Leos, and that's you. That's why we need this foundation, absolutely. That's why we have to continue to grow it. So I'm going to speed it up here a little bit more too. Lori, during the pandemic, she says, how can we help? Each and every one of us can help. Lori's a great visionary. When we talk about together we can, we're a great team. She says, why can't we? Because during the pandemic, she was running on her treadmill at home. She owns a gym. And that's one of the first things that closed down in the pandemic. And she saw what Lions were doing. More proud than I've ever been. During the pandemic, each and every one of you stepped up and got through the pandemic in different ways. So Lori says, how can we do that? She started running on a treadmill, getting donations for LCIF. She ran the Ring of Kerry. She ran from Bosnia to Herzegovina to Serbia, all over the world at home on her treadmill. And did that by doing donations to LCIF. And that's what she's asking each and every one of us to do this year too. For Leos, the Leos you have here, tell them about this. And you don't have to run. I don't like to run. She just climbed Mount Kenya a few weeks ago. I'll talk about that in a moment. But if you don't like to run, you could marathon. You could do a dance marathon. You could do swimming. You could do bowling. You could do cricket. You could do whatever you want to do. But just think of it. And how can we raise money for our foundation? That's the easiest way. It doesn't necessarily have to come out of your pocket, but do fundraisers specifically for our foundation. And Lori leads by example. just like each and every one of you do. She was asked at the beginning of the year, how would you like to climb Mount Kenya? 17 women from 17 different countries. They climbed Mount Kenya. A year ago, they did this as well on another mountain, and they raised $100,000 for a school, and they inaugurated the school in Kenya a month ago. What they did for climbing Mount Kenya is they're raising money for a school in Tunisia that houses and holds albino children. Now listen to this for a moment. Albino children, people think, old culture, think that their bones have mystical powers. So people will come and they will take the limbs off these children, just like a horn off a rhino or a tusk off an elephant. So these guys climbed Mount Kenya so they could give to this school. Let me show you the trip she did about a month ago. Very proud of what they have done as a team in being able to move forward.
We are ordinary women, but doing something extraordinary. No excuse. The albino kids are scared all the time because they could be kidnapped or murdered. So their life, are in danger every time they get out of the school.
The hike is challenging, out of my comfort zone, I tell you. But I am enjoying nature, enjoying the walk, and I'm glad I'm there.
In my life, I think that we should give something back. That is our duty. And when I am serving to others, I feel fantastic.
It's just worth every step that we take up this mountain. It's worth every pain that we feel and everything that we have to go without. And remember, you don't have to climb a mountain to make a difference in these children's lives. You can donate to the cause. You can donate to our foundation.
Doing this is impacting others and changing things and making things better. So I think whatever you can do yourself, you have to do it. You just have to do it.
You don't have to climb a mountain in order to raise money for our foundation. I am extremely proud of Lori and what these women have done and why they have done it. And we can all do things. We can all do the different things we need to be able to do to be able to help our foundation out. You may be able to just go on a trip. We did this in Kenya. We jumped in a trampoline park for about an hour and we made thousands of dollars. You just have to think outside the box. In the different things that we can do, just be creative. Whatever it is you like to do. The only rule is if it has to have some motion, it has to have some enthusiasm. With diabetes, do a stride walk. Just do things and get us out there and active and marketing so the world can see what we do. That's what we have to be able to do to be able to continue on and being able to move forward. So how can we give? There's numerous ways. There's numerous ways. Lori and I absolutely love coming to India. We really do. Because we see your enthusiasm. We see your excitement. We see the projects that you do to be able to help people out. But we need help to be able to do that. Planned giving, CSRs, lines in motions. There's a lot of different ways that we can raise money for our foundation. So we need to think about those. We do have a telethon coming up. And I want to thank the Lions of India. When I hosted this is the 4th telethon coming up on June 2nd. And our host is going to be the first Vice President Fabricio Oliveira. The year after is going to be Vice President A.P. Singh. But I'm telling you, it's a great time to be able to give money It's a great time to have entertainment. It's a great time to see cameos and celebrities. If you've never been on it, you can get on YouTube, Zoom. It's on the Facebook page of Lions Virtual. And be able to participate and help out. That's how you can help. There's also, we have to be able to tell our story. We gotta shout it from the rooftops. Am I right?
Yeah.
We don't tell our stories very often. We're not good at telling stories because we help people out. And then we move on and we help the next people out. Then we're not looking for pats on the back. That's not why we're here. But we have to. We have to tell the world the great things that we do. You all have stories. You guys all especially have stories. And the great projects you do, the things you build, the things that you manage, the things that you do, you got to tell the world. And Lions, we may not always be good. We may not always be good at telling our stories. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, get it out there. Get that story out there. You say, Brian, you say, how long do we got to tell stories? My answer to you is we tell stories until we're out of breath. We have to continue on. Am I right? Are you with me?
Yes!
We gotta tell stories because telling stories is
Awesome!
and that's Jack. I'm gonna keep coming back here until we get that down. Leadership. You have great leadership here. You have excellent leadership in India. You have excellent leadership in Multiple District 317. You have excellent leadership in this room. Each and every one of you are leaders. You are bringing people along and telling them why we need foundation. You are mentors. And we have to pull people along sometimes. You need to go back to your club and help pull people along. Sometimes we don't trust our leaders, but we have to. We have to be able to trust our leaders. We have to go with them and understand them and trust them. They will not lead us astray. You will not lead them astray. So we keep pulling. We keep pulling, saying we need more money for our foundation. We need more members. And eventually your club and everybody will make that crossing. That's what we do. And you've shown that here tonight. Everybody in this room is a leader and you lead by example. I take a look at your constitutional area leader. BJ does a wonderful job. You have great leadership here. You follow him anywhere. So I asked BJ when I got here. I said, what do you think? These are some tremendous goals that we have to do. And I said, what do you think about Multiple District 317? Are they up for it? How do you feel about Multiple District 317? You know what he told me? Wow! I feel good! I feel good! He feels good about you! He knows you guys! He knows you're going to do a great job and he trusts you. So then we got to the airport. And I see the leadership here. I see the leadership. And they're at late at night. And we came in early in the morning. And I couldn't believe they were here. And I said, you guys have great leadership here. I said, when we hit this goal, when we hit your goals, and we're going to get to 133%, right? At least. We're not going to stop. And I said, when we get to your goals, I said, what are we going to do? And you know what your leadership said? We're going to celebrate! We're going to celebrate! That's what we're going to do! Right? Are you with me?
Woo!
Because you guys are
Awesome! Bad Jack.
By the time we get to Melbourne, you're going to be really good at this. And we got to have a little fun. We got to have a little fun. Happy members, don't leave. People want to belong to people that have fun. Am I right?
Yes.
People want to belong to good things, and the Lions organization and our foundation, your foundation, is the best thing that we have going. And we got to be able to have fun because you guys are
Awesome!
And that's the fact. You're going to be waking up at 2 in the morning, and you're going to think awesome in your head. You think, what was it? He said, oh, that's a fact, Jack. Call up your counsel chair and tell him, how come you had Brian come here? Because I couldn't sleep because I was thinking, what? That's a fact, Jack. So Lori and I cannot tell you enough how much we can thank you for the wonderful things you do. I'm going to tell you a very quick story here in my ending, and you may have heard it before because I tell it at the end of every presentation in what we do. When I was a district governor in 2004, we had 12 districts in my multiple. One of my district governors was Wes Sidene. He was a history teacher. And when he retired as a history teacher, he got a job just baking up groceries in a supermarket because he loved talking to people. That's all he wanted to do. So I went to his district convention. It was the best district convention I think I'd been at. People were excited. They were motivated. I called up District Governor West at the a day later, and I said, District Governor West, Lori and I were at your convention. It's the best convention I've seen. You had them excited. You had them motivated. You had them enthused. You had them sitting at the edge of the seat. You had them interacting. I said, this has got to be the best day of your life. And he says, Brian, he says, the best day of my life was this afternoon. I was baking up people's groceries. And they turned to leave and they said, have a good day. We all say that, right? Have a good day. Not District Governor West. He chased the customer down. And he told her, it's not have a good day, it's make a great day. Because it's up to us to make a great day, right? He passed away. He passed away that night. I never got a chance to tell him what a difference he made and how much I loved him, and I loved his attitude, because attitude is everything. I don't tell you that story to be sad. I tell you that story because he made a difference in people's lives. He made a difference in my life forever. I will never end a presentation without make a great day. I will never end an email without make a great day. And I'm here to tell you, you take a step back for a minute. And you see what you are doing for this world. You see what you are doing, what your club is doing. You are making a great day for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, just your club. But because you belong to this organization, you are making a great day for millions and millions and millions of people each and every day. And I am just here to tell you thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You make an impact. You make a difference. And we make an impact and a difference because of that you care and your passion you have for this foundation. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. So we're asking to dig into our pockets, grow our foundation, go back and tell others. So I want you to step up and let's shout, step up. Go ahead, stand up. I've been talking too long, I'm done. But it's about making a great day. And you guys have made a great day.
Yeah, let's make it a beautiful day.